I'll tell two really abridged, quick stories, and I want to hear, in light of those stories, how you think, one, street response will respond, specifically the other person, and two, what volunteers can do to tune how that response might go. And by the way, I also want to say, I'm not sure it's true. The one thing that I've heard that I'm not sure is true is I think there are some people, and I know I was one for a long time, who live on the street and don't dislike it. Portland is a place where I think not everyone, some people just don't like the lifestyle of living in a house. But anyway, okay, really quick, super brief stories. One, I hear yelling, swearing, ranting outside, and I go outside, and there are neighbors following this woman. They say, she's obviously having some kind of issue. They've already called the police. I think to myself, this is not, I'd rather her not come to the police. So I run, literally, and catch up to her. She is so messed up, she doesn't even know her own name, right? And I thought it was LSD at first, and I was like, oh, I can probably talk this person through this, but it wasn't. It was meth. It was a challenge I'm less familiar with. 3.5 hours later, I had been walking with her around the block like 130 times, and got to the point where she now knew her name and told the story of all the things that had happened to her that day. And by then, she was like, okay, she was like, all right. It seemed like what she needed was someone not for 10 or 20 minutes, but for a long time. She didn't need an expert in any particular field. She just needed someone that had been really messed up before, which I assume at some point most adults have been. And, so I wonder what might be the role of the other person in that scenario. Okay, story number two, really quick. Last night, I was walking down Foster in the rain. A woman comes up to me and asks, do you know of any place that's open until 6:30? And she is totally distraught, totally, just messed up, and says that she's been kicked out of the shelter because she made the mistake thinking she saw so many drugs and alcohol there, and she said that she didn't really feel that messed up and she just wanted a drink. And so she got herself 2 airplane bottle sized, liquor and made herself a little mixed drink, got kicked out of the shelter, and now she was lucid and totally cool, but just was urgently needing someplace to go. And she ended up sleeping on my couch until 6:30, which didn't make me super comfortable, but I So I just wonder, what will street response do, and two, what can we do to tune how those responses might be in situations like this?
First, let me just say thank you for letting that woman sleep on your couch. That was not something that a lot of people would do, so thank you for that. The second thing I will say, for the first case with the person that was talking to themselves and frantic, Portland Street Response would probably do just what you did. If what they needed was somebody to walk with them, they would just walk with them and just keep talking in a very calming tone of voice until they were calmed down. The great thing about Portland Street Response is, unlike the 911 responders that are police and fire and AMR, Portland Street Response won't have to check back in right away, right? So they don't have, like with fire, it's like their bell is going off all the time, so they can't sit for hours and sit and talk to that person, right? But by golly, Portland Street Response could sit until they had another call that they needed to go to. And maybe they would develop a protocol about, well, this person still may not need to be, probably not safe to leave them by themselves. And so then they would have to figure out, well, so what do we do? Do we go on this next call and then come back? They will have to work that out, and that's quite frankly why we're doing a pilot, because, right, it's like we just don't know kind of what we're gonna experience. Would you agree with that? Yeah, right, so we just don't know what we don't know yet, but we're open to all of that. Now, in the case of the woman, I mean, what that says is, even the temporary shelters that we have, lots of it has rules. So for example, if you have a pet, you can't bring your pet into most shelters. If you have a partner, if you have a same-sex partner, you may have limits on whether or not that could happen in a shelter depending upon the rules of that particular shelter, right? And so when people say, well, why don't they just go to a shelter? If all your life worldly possessions are in a shopping cart, you're not gonna wanna leave that shopping cart to go and see if it's possible for you to get a mat for that night, right? So this is the reality that we have community members dealing with day in and day out. And so it's not that people are saying, I don't want help, but they're waiting, right? I mean, I've had people say to me, well, I don't take a shower because if I take a shower, I have to leave my stuff. And if I go in the shower and come back, my stuff will be gone. I mean, how sad is that, right? I mean, but that's the reality that many people are living with every day on our street. Next question.
That's me. I wish you the best of luck with it. I think it's a great idea, and I really do hope it's a success.
Thank you.
But I will say, though, I think it's important that you get the opinion of all peoples. I think, clearly you've got the ear of people who experience homelessness, people who work with people who are homeless. But in order for it to be a success, you need buy-in from people who are residents as well.
Yes.
And so far I heard a lot of what you're saying coming from the angle of people who are suffering from homelessness, and not so much like for those of us that have to wake up at 3 in the morning because somebody broke into our house, or in our garden more often, is the case. You hear the door rattling, you get up, kids are crying, dogs are barking, and I'm hearing it just coming from the people who are mentally ill, or who are suffering from some kind of a drug overdose at the time, and got a lot of meth is the problem here. So, do you have somebody whispering in your other ear?
Yes. So just so you know, we did talk to business owners, we talked to homeowners, we surveyed every demographic in the city of Portland. We talked to faith institutions. I mean, we intentionally took the time to make sure that we were leaving no corner without input, right? The reason that I mentioned houseless people, and I was like really focused on that, because that is rare. Normally what happens is somebody sits in an office and develops a program that's supposed to help people who are houseless and never once have a conversation with the people who the program is supposed to help, right? So the reason I focused on that was because that is unique for a government entity to even contemplate. And so, yes, of course, I talked to the normal suspects, right? I talked to everybody else, but I wanted to center that community, because rarely do they get to help shape public policy.
You hear counter arguments too. I mean, I imagine it's very easy to hear from your colleagues. I know that our friend here in Street Roots has obviously worked close with your office, and when you're developing a plan like this, I wonder, is there somebody else who's making counter arguments to the argument that may be made from our friend from Street Roots, just so it's from a different perspective?
So, Kristen, how many people were in that work group? It was 6 months. There was over 200 people.
There are 50 people.
50 people.
So monthly.
Meeting monthly.
Including the sub workers, probably closer to 100.
But is it people who've already got a self-interest involved in it, or is it a general public open to?
Again, it was across the board, so we intentionally made sure that we reached out to folks. We didn't wait for people to come to City Hall and tell us what they thought, even though a lot of people did, right? We didn't wait for that. We actually reached out and talked to and engaged people, and we will continue to do that throughout the life of the project, right? This is not the last time I will be at the Lents Neighborhood Association, because I need you, quite frankly, to help me make this program successful. And what is that going to look like? Is it going to look like your neighborhood association actually organizing a day where you go out with sandwiches and actually engage people who are houseless? Is it going to look like you go out one day and actually follow Portland Street Response to see what they're doing? Is it you talking to your faith institution about how they could host one day of actually, but for grace that goes I, right? And actually help us raise resources to support the work that we want to do. I mean, I don't know what it looks like yet, but I'm hopeful that like-minded people, right? Like-minded people who believe that there's something wrong when we have anybody living on the street, right? In a society and a community with so many resources. If we all believe that's wrong, then all of us can do something, right? And what's incredible about all of us doing something is all those little somethings add up to something big. I gotta tell you, when we surveyed houseless people, a smile sometimes makes somebody's day because of how invisible you feel when you don't have a house and you don't feel good about how you look and you know other people are looking down on you. Just somebody acknowledging that you exist, some days is what you need to get through that day. So all of us, regardless of what resources we have, can help with this, right? Because these are our neighbors, these are our community members. These are folks that, but for grace, would be us. All it takes is what? A job loss, a car breaking down, a sick parent, a sick kid, but for grace. One bad, well, but a one bad decision shouldn't destroy the rest of your life. We all deserve redemption. Do we not?
Yeah.
All right, amen.
Just a second before we move on to the next question, I just want to say I heard the commissioners say that they are willing to stay a little longer, and that is amazing. Thank you to get through more questions. But our time is up, and I'm not ending the meeting. I just wanted to note that to be respectful of everyone's time, and for those who might need to leave before they do, there was one thing that I wanted to bring up because I think it's such a privilege that we have Prosper Portland here at the same time as the commissioner. I feel like oftentimes when topics come up, sometimes bureaus can say, oh, it's this other bureau's responsibility or this one, but now we have both of them here, and I was going to see if we could involve both of them on a little conversation about, so I was in a Community Budget Advisory Committee meeting a week or so ago, and we were talking about the developments in Lents and the empty spaces in Lents, and what could we possibly put in there, and then another community member, so it was not someone from the Prosper Portland staff, said, well, I've heard about street response coming to Lents, and I know they might connect people to social services. So have you guys thought, in terms of filling those spaces, like you've considered businesses, but have you thought about amenities for do the people of Lents have enough amenities? And also, do they have enough services? Is there a possibility for Prosper Portland to partner with street response and have any kind of center there for some of the services that they offer, just to kind of enhance the program or anything like that?
So I will say that Prosper Portland is the economic development arm of the city of Portland, which is in the mayor's portfolio. So even though I push Prosper Portland around a bit because, quite frankly, I live in East Portland as well. I also live in a food desert area where we've lost major grocery stores, and I continue to try to push Prosper Portland to be creative about how we bring fresh food into food deserts, and so I think that it's wonderful. I'm sorry, what's your name one more time? Thea was wonderful. You guys put a lot of pressure on a brand new staff person. I would encourage you to invite Kimberly Brown to come, the director of Prosper Portland, because she is the appropriate person to come and tell you what the vision is. I was very impressed with Thea that she actually could explain tips, because I was sitting there going, man, I'm still trying to figure out how the tip dollars work. What we should be doing, and quite frankly, I would say this if Kimberly were here, if I was part of this neighborhood association, I would be writing a formal letter to Kimberly, and I would be saying that we have empty spaces, that our community demands that we have a grocery store. There's a model in North Portland where a New Columbia is, that is a community grocery store. The residents run the grocery store. There are discounts for residents who actually shop at the grocery store. In fact, they get credit so that at the end of the month, if their check is, light, right? They've got store credits that actually get them through the hump to the end of the month. We have some models already that exist in the city of Portland. We just don't actually share it with other parts of the city, right? It took a long time for North Portland to create their community grocery store, but it's phenomenal. And the residents love it, especially because it provides employment opportunities. There's no reason why Prosper could not give you space in their new developments in Lent for you to develop your